Hosted in conjunction with Chris Media, the CEO interview series allows investors to hear directly from the CEOs leading the companies featured on Wholesale Investor. Enjoy the interview and reach out via the details in the description.
Hi, and welcome to another CEO interview series. Today we have a very special guest returning back, Scott Graham, CEO of Rex Energy. It's lovely to have you today, Scott.
Well, it's lovely to be here, Rhythm.
Amazing. Now, Scott, this is just for the newer members of the audience who are just becoming aware of Rex Energy. Can you give us an executive summary?
Oh, absolutely. So we started Rex Energy. We were pre-seed funded in January of 2020. And it was off of an idea. The idea was that we could find a way to provide tenants of multi-tenant properties with equitable access to renewable energy, on-site generated renewable energy and battery storage. And so it was just a hand sketch and a business plan, and we were seed funded off of that to the tune of about 1.5 million initially.
Right.
And that pre-seed process we took through, and we built a little proof of concept, and all the rest. But and then now where we are today, we finished seed. We have a minimum viable product. We have orders for it all across the country. We have revenue now from an actual power plant that we have operating. And really what our product has evolved into is something a little bit different than what we started with. The idea initially was how to help tenants to lower their energy overheads and decarbonize multi-tenant properties, really. And it's evolved into this incredible product with multiple capabilities. And so what it really is, in a nutshell, is just a fully autonomous 24-hour renewable energy power plant that we install at multi-tenant properties like retirement villages, homemaker centers, shopping centers, commercial properties, industrial district, and residential apartment buildings that are low-set townhouse communities and whatnot. So those types of applications, we're able to drive down the cost of energy for the tenants, but also provide the owners of those sites, if it's an owner-operated retirement village, with a source of revenue that they didn't receive before. So it benefits the owners, it benefits the tenants, and we can also then support the broader energy network because we have these large clusters of stored energy. So, the system has been designed to benefit everyone involved, and it's an impressive product.
Amazing, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now, it would be great to know if you could tell us about that unique selling point that your product has in comparison to other competitors in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we have a number of competitors in the marketplace that might install a little bit of renewable energy into multi-tenant properties, but they're just offsetting the community energy usage.
Right.
And the tenants do not benefit from that at all. Right? Or there are other products that might be able to supply about 22 kilowatts of solar or renewable energy generated on site, but no more. So what we endeavored to do is provide a 24-hour renewable energy supply to the site, which means we're overproducing energy during the day with a massive solar system, and we're storing that in a battery that is not lithium. We're using a very special battery that has a 50-year lifespan, and it does not catch fire, and it has no chemicals, so that there's no danger to the people who, let's say, live or work in these multi-tenant properties. Very important. So the other thing that we've done is the tenants, because we have real-time data, we know exactly how much energy each tenant demands in real time. Because we have that data, we want to share that data with the tenants. So each tenant can access their real-time energy demand data. They can see their energy bill increasing in real time. So we've transformed their mobile phones into power meters. And that's a wonderful thing for them because they have a fully transparent view of what their bill trajectory is going to look like, or the invoice trajectory for that particular billing period. We have the capability to support the broader energy networks with each one of our installations. They're all fully cloud networked together as well. The other interesting thing that we're able to do is island the sites. So in the event that the power grid loses energy, or there's some kind of a blackout happening, we can just disconnect the site from the power grid remotely and power it from within. which is really great to make sure that those particular sites remain powered through our on-site renewables.
Right. Well, you're truly addressing the limitations that other projects in the market might have,
Yeah.
and then you are really expanding upon on that project, and everyone is
Absolutely.
seeing that value, which is why that Rex Energy is achieving such great milestones.
Yes. Yeah, we are. We certainly are. I think one other thing I'd add there is, our capabilities when it comes to EV charging. I think EV charging is this glamorous, exciting thing that's happening in the energy industry, but I don't believe it's actually going to have a positive effect on our distribution systems. Quite frankly, I believe the opposite. So what we've done there, and this is another unique point that we have, these multi-tenant properties are really challenged with integrating electric vehicles into their sites, because their transformer, their medium voltage and low voltage transformer infrastructure and their switchboard infrastructure is prohibitive in its current form to support EV charging. And so what we are able to do with our product as well, there's an EV charging project that we can do for sites where we install our intelligence and our large energy storage system, so that these EVs actually charge from the energy storage system and not from the grid, creating peak demand issues for these buildings, which is extremely important as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Well, Scott, for my next question, I would love to ask you about one of the milestones that you've recently achieved out of many. So I recently read a news article that stated that Rex Energy has received a letter of intent from a Queensland client to proceed with a client-funded $13.5 million retirement village project. Can you share a little bit more about that with the audience?
Look, this is an extremely exciting project, right? Because this is one of the really amazing, good developers in the country who want to do good things, right? And so what they're doing with this project, and I commend them. I think it's amazing. This is going to be the shot heard around the nation, right? I assure you it will be. They're going to advertise, right? The engineering process is not formalized yet, right? So we have done some engineering reviews of the site. But they are going to advertise some of the lowest cost electricity delivered to these tenants in the entire country with our system, right? So the cost of our system ends up being cost neutral for a property developer, right? Because what they do is our systems get integrated inside a multi-tenant property day one when the property is being built. The cost of that project is just absorbed within the cost of the tenancies when people come and buy the tenancies. It might add, a certain amount of money to each tenancy sale price, but it actually increases the value of the tenancies, so the property developer can sell them for more because there's more of a benefit to the tenants. The tenants themselves could be paying, in this particular instance, somewhere in the ballpark of anywhere from 10 to 14 cents a kilowatt hour for their electricity. And that is an awesome thing to do, and it's a retiree, so this really helps them to save money. The property developer is not going to make any money necessarily on the project as it stands right now. That might evolve and change in the future, but I believe their intentions are, hey, we want to deliver low-cost energy. We really want to do a service for these tenants, and that's going to help the property developer pre-sell all of their sites as well. So this particular project is 800 tenants. Some of them are in groups of 4, 3, 2 tenancies, so buildings with 4, 3, 2 tenants in it. Our systems and our battery systems are communal on site, so we have a communal battery system, communal renewable energy generation system that we impose software level control, and we deliver the exact amount of energy required by all of the tenants in real time. So that what we generate on site is either directly sold to them on site at a low cost, or it's stored in our energy storage and then sold to them on site later. So we're shielding all of the tenants in these multi-tenant properties from the volatility of the nation's energy retail market. One of the biggest concerns right now in the marketplace, Rhythm, is that the government's recently announced, I believe, a 56% increase in the cost of electricity over the next 24 months. Look, that's horrifying. We're already amongst some of the most expensive energy on planet Earth, and it's only going to get worse moving forward, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely make a very valid point. Now, Scott, do you mind highlighting for us any other updates or milestones that over the last 6 to 12 months that you've achieved that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Rex Energy, when we started 2 years ago, we obviously didn't have any revenue. We were in research and development, and that's a hard thing to get funded, I got to tell you. You know, we raised about $3 million throughout that journey, and our research is complete, our development is complete. We have a minimum viable product that's fully operational. We have an autonomous power plant that is operating in Southeast Queensland, and it is revenue positive. It's generating revenue on a monthly basis for Rex Energy. It's fully functional. It's actually a wonderful sales tool for us as well. We are actually powering the entire industrial district that our corporate headquarters is situated at as well. So all of the tenants within our industrial district, they're saving about anywhere from about 40 to 50% on the cost of energy delivered to them. And so this is actually helping them to be more profitable and survive during these tough economic times where everything's going up in price horrifically, right? So that's a major milestone for us, is actually building the product and getting it done and then saying, hey, my gosh, we have revenue now, and here it is. So we have this exciting project that we've received a letter of intent for in North Queensland. We were approved for an engineering project for a project in Rouse Hill, a 250 tenant apartment building here. We've just received approval on our phase 1 project for a large EV charging project in Newcastle, New South Wales as well. Our pipeline right now, with all of the weighted project probability, let's say move forward probabilities situated, has about $50 million of opportunity sitting in it today that we believe we're going to get across the line. And that's happened only within the last 3 months.
Awesome.
And we only just started advertising about 6 weeks ago. Oh, not even, about 4 weeks ago. So our heads are spinning right now, and it's really exciting to see it finally starting to take off.
Yeah, absolutely. But like a lot of hard work would have gone, behind the scenes, which, sometimes people miss out on that. And, like I know you personally, and I've seen you work as well, like the dedication that you have towards your work, that all relates to the outcomes that you're achieving now. So it's just the work that you put in, you're getting the results of that now.
Rhythm, I think the last time I was in Sydney, I was hospitalized for a 6mm kidney stone, right?
Yeah.
I discharged myself from the hospital to go and do a presentation to a room of about 200 people,
Wow.
an investment pitch of about 200 people. I left there and then basically needed to go back to the hospital again. So it was, it was an incredible process for me. But what it does for my investors and my shareholders, it shows them the dedication. If you are a founder, if you are a CEO of a company, especially a founder, I mean, CEO aside, if you are a founder of a company, you've got to have grit. You've got to have something that my old boss in America, when I was in architecture, he'd say, you've got moxie, right? I don't know today really what that fully means, but I think it means that, look, you're going to stand up, you're going to take the punches, you're going to do what's necessary to ensure the success of the company for the greater good of its employees, its shareholders, and especially the positivity that we can have in the marketplace once our company begins to find, real, sustainable, profitable success, and we are headed there like a freight train.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely a lot to anticipate for the work that Rex Energy is doing. But for the investors in our audience, if you would like to summarize, what does 2023 look for you?
So 2023, we're going to have we're going to hit break even in the 2023-2024 tax year, right? Fiscal year, and we're eyeing profitability. It is. I actually think towards the fourth quarter of that financial year, we are going to see profitability. We are marching straight towards it, and it really doesn't take much for us to hit profitability rhythm. Now we have revenue, we have a demonstrable product, we're deploying it into the marketplace. We're quoting projects every day. So success is inevitable now. Magnitude of success depends on how well funded we are, how well we can pierce the veil of the marketplace, and especially educate property developers, building owners, body corporates, architects, engineers about what we have, so that we can start integrating it inside these multi-tenant properties. And really, that's all we need to do. Educate. Yeah.
True.
So I think we're marching straight towards that profitability at the end of this coming year. And also, we're going to have a wonderful impact on the people who we're supplying energy to.
Right.
Right, as energy rates in the public retail energy grid are skyrocketing, these people and these tenants are going to be shielded from that volatility, and you can expect that building owners that use our supply system are going to see higher tenancy retainage, happier tenants, and I think in some cases, as we become more well known in the marketplace, tenants are going to be asking property owners to invite us in to supply them with energy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, just as a parting question, I would love for you to share any insights because you've been on this journey as as a CEO, and you would have interacted with other founders as well. So this space is definitely difficult, and especially with the times that we are seeing in the market. Any tips that you might have for the founders?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Golly, look, you've got pre-seed and seed is a huge challenge, and you actually, as a founder, you walk in generally, at least I did, with this view of just absolute optimism and belief that you're going to get it done. And so one rule that a VC told me a long time ago, about a year and a half ago, I guess it's not that long ago. He said, "Look, everything you think, everything you believe, it's going to, about your company, it's going to take twice as long, and it's going to cost twice as much. Be prepared for that." And he wasn't wrong. So in pre-seed and seed, you have you're going to have a ton of learning experience. You're going to have so many learning experiences as a founder. And some of them are going to cut you deep.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to cut you deep personally. Your health is going to suffer in some cases, right? Your mindset, your positivity, your mental state can suffer because you have wonderful days, you have challenging days, you have average days, right? And in some days you have all of that crunched into one as a founder, right? So it's not like you just show up, you go to work, you do your thing, you come home. You're working even when you're sleeping, right? You'll wake up in the middle of the night and go, "Oh my gosh, I need to do this tomorrow," and make a note on your phone or something. So, look, get your people right.
Right.
Get your people right. That was probably one of my greatest failures, was onboarding people who were not in the industry. They didn't understand the industry. They may have been decent or good at what their little nook was, if it were, let's say, marketing, or if it were, let's call it risk governance, or whatever it may be. But if these people are not doers, if they're just talkers, right, it will slow down your progress. It will cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in wages. And it will cost you even more in stress and concern, because these people will surround you and advise you and probably take you down some wrong paths, right? So my advice is to surround yourself with people who take action. People who take action. You want people who are going to do what they say they're going to do what you ask them to do, and also respect you as a leader, right? Not tell you what you need to do, but respect you as a leader and do what you ask them to do, regardless of whether they think it should be done that way or not. You as a leader are the captain of the ship, and ultimately your vision needs to be realized. And that's what the shareholders have bought into. Your vision, your concept, not a marketing person's concept, right? Not an engineer's concept. They bought into your concept, and you need to hold true to what you are, who you are, and what your objectives are.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would also tell to founders is build a really solid and factual operating budget.
Right.
It's something that if you do it on your own, you're like, okay, I've got some rent expenses here, I've got manpower expenses here, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Don't just do it yourself. Get some good consultants in. Don't just rely on your accountants either, right? Get some good advisory people in to help you build a solid operating budget, forward operating budget, or forecast, right? Cash flow forecast, so that you can show investors the amount of money that you truly believe you need to get you to glory road, right? Which is profitability or break even, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that you should invest into right up front, and you should maintain it every single month. right? If you fail to do that, then you will fail to raise capital, right? Because you have no roadmap for an investor to look at and say, okay, if I put in $500,000 or $5 million, where is that going to take you? How are you going to spend that money? Where is it going to go? And how do I know that my money is going to be enough to get you across the line? Because that's what investors want to know, right? Investors don't want to invest $1 million and have you run out of $1 million in 6 months, not have a minimum viable product, not have any sales on deck, and still not be break even. They want to invest $1 million knowing that, or whatever their investment is going to be, that you have a roadmap and a plan to get to break even, because that provides them with security, right? And otherwise, it is a huge risk for an investor to throw money at you, right? So that's another piece of advice that I can offer. And the last thing that I would say is you must balance risk, right, with progress. If you have a whole bunch of engineers and people that surround you that are trying to mitigate risk constantly, right? Yeah. This is startups are a risky, it's a risky game for them, right? So as a founder, it's something that's extremely important, is that you go, okay, I'm going to accept that there's a certain level of operational risk here because I need to get this done faster. So that I can, say that I can show that we have a minimum viable product, and then worry about risk, right?
Right.
Whatever it may be. So you have to decide amongst yourselves and your shareholders, how much risk are we willing to tolerate in order to speed up, let's say, the development of your product.
Yeah.
The quicker you can have a minimum viable product operating, and the quicker you can generate revenue, the faster you are going to turn people who are investors, their heads in the marketplace. Look, we did that in September, right? So in September of this year, we started generating revenue. We started generating sales, right? We have that minimum viable product that is fully demonstrable. You can come out to our site, you can see it running, which is awesome. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing. Yeah. And I'm so proud of that. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get it there. But once you're there, look, we've got offers. We have a $5 million investment offer just came in a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And millions of dollars of project, let's call it project funding has also been offered to us. We've got investment offers coming from the United States. We've got investment offers coming from banks. We have investment offers coming from folks that we just haven't even heard of, and they just know that we exist, and they just pop in your email box. Right. So it's really exciting to see that start to happen, and you want to experience that as well as a founder, right? Yeah. So to get there, get yourself revenue positive as quickly as possible, get your minimum viable product done, get yourself some sales in the pipeline, and boom, you'll start shooting off like rockets. True.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, for sharing these learnings. I'm sure that, the founders in watching this interview would really benefit from your journey, and they'll get to learn and pick up things, because, it's all about, I feel like, a learning process in this space. So thank you so much for sharing those insights, and also congratulations on everything that Rex Energy has achieved so far. Really? We have been working together for over a year now, and it's so exciting to see the journey that you are on, and we would love to always stay connected with you. For anyone interested in getting in touch with Scott or the team at Rex Energy, please see the details at the side of the screen and in the description. Thank you again, Scott, for joining me for this interview.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.